Welcome to Bowling Scoring 101 with myself, Heavyweight Bowling. Now, today I wanted to give my own shot at a real basic tutorial of bowling scoring. And one of the main reasons I've wanted to do this is because over the summer, I remember people talking about why bowling isn't in the Olympics. And in my opinion, it should be in the Olympics, especially considering that breakdancing shit was in the Olympics. If they could let that in the Olympics, how do you not let bowling in the Olympics? So, in my opinion, I don't think bowling scoring is that complicated. And that's coming from someone who has a lot of difficulty understanding a lot of just basic shit in life. And I, looked up a couple examples of bowling tutorials, and I didn't think they were like comprehensive enough. I was thinking in my own, if this was a tutorial of me trying to understand bowling scoring, I probably wouldn't figure it out. So today I want to do like a real thorough breakdown. This video is probably going to be way longer than it should be. But obviously for the people that are interested in learning how bowling scoring works and being able to score by hand, this is your video. All right. So here's a real basic introduction to a game of bowling and how to score it. So some basic facts up top. There are 10 frames in a game of bowling. Per frames 1 through 9, you get a maximum of 2 attempts per frame to knock down all the pins. Frame 10, there's a potential for a bonus shot or bonus shots, but starting, we're just going to talk about frames 1 through 9, and then we'll get into frame 10 at the end. Once you understand frames 1 through 9, I think it'll be pretty easy to understand frame 10. So this is my attempt at depicting the first 3 frames of a game of bowling. I probably should have mentioned right up top that my handwriting is terrible. I'm aware of it. I don't have any artistic abilities. And there's also a bleach stain on my sleeve. But this is the only bowling shirt I have, so we're just going to have to deal with it throughout the video. So let's go over like the 3 possible outcomes of a frame of bowling. Now, the worst outcome is what we call an open frame. So on your first attempt, for example, let's say you knock down 9 pins. There are 10 pins in a rack, so you knock down 9 of the 10, and you miss that one remaining pin on your second attempt. That's the worst possible thing you can do in bowling, is not knock down all the pins in 2 tries. So you get an open frame. It's depicted by a dash, and you don't get any bonus pins, and we're going to get into that. Now, a spare is the second best possible thing you can do in bowling. Let's say you knock down 9 pins, and on your second attempt, you knock down that one remaining pin. Guess what? You get a spare, you get a dash, and you get to add your next shot. Now, notice there I said add, all right? There's nothing more complicated than just addition, all right? No multiplication, no division, no cosines, trigonometry, none of that, all right? Now, a strike is the absolute best possible thing you can do in bowling. It's the thing that everyone wants to do. Beginner bowlers, competitive bowlers, we're all just trying to strike all the time. And the reason we are is because a strike is so good that you get to add 2 shots to that one frame. The next 2 shots, all right? So let me go through an example, and hopefully everything I just said will kind of come together for you, all right? So first frame, let's say you go up. First attempt to the first frame, you get all the pins down, all 10 pins, that's a strike, all right? This marker's dying a little bit. Then on frame 2, let's say your first attempt, you knock down, let's say 9 pins, all right, which is very common for someone who bowls consistently. We tend to get 9s. Keeps us up at night. Now, let's say that 1 pin remaining, you knock it down, you got yourself a spare. Good job. Starting pretty good here. Now, on your third frame, let's say you go up, you knock 8 down. All right, you get 8. And then the next shot, you don't get anything. All right? So now let's score this. So a strike, you get 10 pins for the 10 pins that you knock down. but you get to add the 9 and the 1. So this frame equals 20 because you get the 10 you knock down plus the next 2 shots. Now a spare, all right, you get this 8. It doesn't matter that you open there. You weren't going to get it anyway. And so you add the 10 you knock down. That's 30. 20 plus 10. Plus the 8. That's 38. So now you have 38 in frame 2. And frame 8, we don't even have to know what happens next to score it because you opened. It's just 8 more pins. So you get the 38 plus the 8. That's 46, I think. I'm not great at math, and this marker is definitely dying. And that's really, in that 3 frames, I just showed you pretty much all the concepts you need to understand to score frames 1 through 9. Even though we'll go through a full example, this video is way too long. All right, so I changed colors because the other marker was dying. No, it's not usually green. I also think I said I was going to score a whole game of bowling, and I quickly found out that I can't fit a whole game in this little whiteboard for you to even really see it. So we're just going to skip ahead to the last 4 frames of the game, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, and here is the rule set, or the way frame 10 works, whatever you want to say. Basically, the major difference is in frame 10, you get a maximum of 3 shots, all right, instead of 2 for frames 1 through 9. An open, all right, let's say you get a 9-0 in the 10th on your first 2 attempts, you don't get any bonus shots, 0, because it's the worst thing you can do in bowling, and you're going to get punished for it. Then a spare, you use your first 2 shots, you get 1 bonus shot, all right? So you can go 9 spare strike, 9 spare 8, 9 spare 9, whatever you want, and then a strike in the last frame. You can get 2 bonus shots, so you only use your first shot on a strike. So you can get 3 strikes in a row in the 10th, but the major thing that you want to remember is that even though it's the 10th frame, they don't add together within 1 frame. The same rule still applies. You have to add together within, different frames. So, for example, if you get strike, 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 you get 3 strikes in a row in the 10th frame, you get 30 pins for that. You don't start adding these together for it to be more than just the 30 pins. So let's just finish out a game, and hopefully you understand. So let's say in the 7th you got a 9-0. You opened, and let's say up to this point you have a 150. To make my math a little easier, a nice even number. Let's say you get a strike in the 8th. All right. So you get 160 for that at a minimum, plus the 10. You get a 9 spare in the 9th. So you get the 160 plus 10. That's 170. So now moving on to frame 9, you have a minimum of a 180. Let's say in the 10th frame, you turkey out. Gobble fucking gobble. You know what I'm saying? So you get the 10 plus the 170. So that's 180. Plus the 1 bonus shot for the spare. So that's 190 for the 9th. 190. And you get 10, 10, 10. 30 pins for the 10th frame. 190 plus 30. That's a 220 game. That's a pretty solid game. There's not a lot of bowlers that would necessarily be upset with the 220. And hopefully, after all that, you understand bowling scoring.